So recently, I have been gaining a lot of weight. The last straw for me was when I kept climbing and climbing and climbing, with my highest weight reaching 197 pounds. I found something and I have been losing weight ever since. Steady drop, no plateauing, and I am only halfway through this weight loss protocol. I am so impressed. This is truly going to change my life. And the best part is, I'm not even hungry.
Showing off, don't wanna have to wait tonight. Better off, I'm gonna find my way tonight. Won't you talk to me? I wanna heal your sorrows. We'll make a new tomorrow.
First, before I get into everything, I wanted to just give a huge disclaimer, and that is that I am not a medical doctor. I'm not here to give you medical advice. I don't prescribe, I describe. I describe what I do for myself, what is working for me, and what I've heard and read about from doctors and nutritionists. So I'm here as a YouTube influencer to share what I know and share my experience with you. So take it as you will, do what you want, and make your own decisions for your own life, but I just had to get that out there. I know a lot of you guys have been following my weight loss journey through social media, and through the last video I did, I have lost 32 pounds and I'm still dropping. I had a little bit of a plateau last week because we had Jordan had a birthday, and I did go over my calories just a little bit. So that kind of stalled me for a few days. Otherwise, I would be down even more. But this is truly the only thing that I have found that has worked for me. And I know many of you guys have been asking about it, PMing me, asking about how it works and how you guys can start HCG. It is amazing. So for those that are unfamiliar with HCG, I do have a video on my before and after on the channel. I will create an HCG playlist for you guys. So we put all the HCG videos together and you guys can see my results. And if you have any concerns, see all my blood work and all of my body composition and everything. So in this video here, I want to talk about phase 1. There are 3 phases to HCG. There's phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. And phase 2 is the actual diet portion of the HCG, which I hesitate even saying the word diet because it's not truly a diet, it's a protocol. And that's what Dr. Simmons, who originally made this protocol, called it, was just that. It's a protocol, it's a short-term situation. In this video here, I want to cover the phases of HCG. I want to focus on phase 1. So in phase 1, and this is the fun part, I love phase 1. Oh my God, I love it. So phase 1 is called the loading phase on HCG. And there is this guy that I'm following on social media. He's called Blake_201, I believe. And he is into intermittent fasting. Long story short, he's hilarious to watch. He eats massive amounts of food to prove a point on how effective intermittent fasting is. And I like to use him as an example because phase 1 is quite literally like eat like Blake all the time, day and night. The goal in phase 1 is to basically consume as many fats as you can. There are 2 ways to load on phase 1. Classic load, which I'm going to talk about first, and there's a clean load. The classic is my favorite. The classic is according to Dr. Simmons' original protocol, which said literally, eat donuts, eat burgers and pizza and breads and fats. Just fried foods, pretty much anything you want, cakes, anything that's unhealthy and you should not eat on a diet, pretty much eat it. And the whole goal is to put an emphasis on fats. You want to build up as many fats as you can. And it sounds counterintuitive because when you do this, you can expect to gain up to 5 or 6 pounds. Sometimes you can gain more during the 3 days of loading, which I'll talk about more in a minute. But There's no worries with it because it comes right back off. But essentially, the more fats that you can consume during this loading phase, the better the results typically are on the weight loss end. On phase 2, when you get into the weight loss side of it. There's a lot of reasons for why this is, and it has to do with your hypothalamus, your diencephalon, and how your body processes fats. But I'm not going to bore you with all that data in this video. That's one for another time. Okay, the second way to load is one that I've heard about from some other people on YouTube, and they claim to have much better results doing a clean load. Now, what a clean load is essentially you're getting as many fats as you can, but you're doing it low carb. You're essentially trying to block out as many carbs as you can, as close to zero as you can. You know, ideally it would be like under 30 carbs a day. You're just trying to really restrict the carbs, but the closer to zero, the better. And essentially just have a lot of fat, but low carbs. And there have been a lot of people come out that have said that they drop so much faster and they lose so much weight over the life of phase 2, the diet portion, when they do a clean load. Now for me, I love the excuse to do a classic load because I love good food. I love it. I love the pizzas. I love the buffalo wings and the deep fat fried, chicken fingers and corn dogs and the foot-long chili cheese dogs from Sonic and buffalo breaded chicken sandwiches and fries, and oh my god, I could go on and on. So I love it personally because it gives me a great excuse to have 3 days of literally eat whenever you want. You will not be hungry. I can promise you that. So those are the 2 ways that you can do it. Dr. Simeon's originally recommended going the classic method. That way you get your food in. You don't want to eat, by the way, until you're like sick. You don't want to make yourself sick, of course. But literally, you just get as many fats in as you want. If you want to eat a whole pizza, you eat a whole pizza, donuts and anything. So those are the 2 options that you have when it comes to the loading phases on HCG. Now, how long you want to do the loading phases? So you can do a 2-day loading phase, or you can do a 3-day loading phase. And the reason that you would want to consider doing a 3-day loading phase is more so if you've been doing a lot of dieting lately and maybe your body's used to being restricted on a diet, it would probably be more beneficial to do a 3-day. That's what I did, is I just wanted to make sure that I had as many fats as possible. It gives you more time to get the fats in and kind of shake things up for your body, because as you've probably noticed, at least with me, if you get into a certain pattern, your body kind of gets used to it and kind of stalls out, right? So it kind of shakes things up and gets you ready for the next phase on HCG. So that's one reason that you might consider doing a 2 or 3 day. The other is that it can take up to 3 days for the HCG to fully hit your system. And if you're dropping down to a 500 calorie, extremely restricted diet, which I'll explain more in detail in the next video and address the safety concerns and misconceptions and things like that, but it can take up to 3 days for the HCG to saturate your system. And the HCG is, in most cases, people report that they're not even hungry. I know in my case, I was not hungry for the longest time. It's not until recently that I started feeling like true hunger again, because it pretty well knocks out your hunger. You're not hungry, you're not thinking about food all the time. It's amazing, I love it. But Dr. Simeon, as he stated in his book, which I also have on a playlist for you guys on the channel, that he didn't want people to go the first 3 days and be starving to death and in pain without food. So it's much easier just to load up, get those fats in, plus it seems to help you drop faster in the end anyway. And one thing I noticed too, towards the end of my loading phase, by the 2nd day, I was having trouble eating enough food. Like, I had so much trouble getting all the food down that I needed to get down. So it became almost difficult to eat, if you can imagine that, because I was already feeling full. Either way, whether you do a 2-day or 3-day load, clean load or classic, the choice is really your own to make. And like I said, I had my reasons for having an excuse to eat whatever I wanted. Oh my God, it was so nice. It was so nice. But anyway, that's enough for this video. That is an overview of phase 1 of the HCG. Be sure to like this video and subscribe for more, because I'm going to be doing a lot of videos on HCG as well as documenting my personal progress. And if you guys have any questions, be sure to comment below and I'd be glad to give you everything that I know. Love you guys. More soon.